What is going on, guys? It's Adam A.K. Marv. Today's show is going to be packed with stories, so stick around. We're going to be talking about, of course, asteroids. We are going to be talking about the Pentagon and the choices they're making. Norway making a tunnel to hide from nukes. We'll be right back. All right, what is going on, guys? It is Adam A.K. Marv, and this is Marfoogle News. Today we have a great show brought to you by NordVPN. If you want to support the show, we'll tell you about that in a little bit. But, of course, you can support us by protecting yourself with NordVPN. Go to marfooglenews.com/VPN. And, of course, right now the EMP sale is going on right now, which you can combine with our discount as well. All right, if you're missing notifications from us, remember you can actually get our notifications from our website directly to your phone. Push notifications. All it will do is tell you when we are live and when we actually click that button. YouTube didn't even show me that I was live. I was trying to find my own chat on my phone. But apparently if you set up a live, you can't even see it after it's supposed to be live. If it's 2 minutes late, then it just disappears. It's kind of weird. I thought that was kind of just a little bit off. But again, everything today will have a backup, a bibliography, a source, so you know exactly where your news is coming from. In fact, if you go to marfooglenews.com, you will see that we actually have the show lined up, and it's very easy to navigate. You actually go to this thumbnail. Of course, the world preparing for massive event, and that's going to be very clear. In fact, I'm going to roll off of, some of you may be over here from Jacob Israel. He just did a premiere and shouted me out and ended up telling people in his chat to come over. He did a great show. If you haven't checked that out, make sure to go check that out. I actually tried to watch the whole thing. That's why we're a few minutes after. Because he was talking about a lot of the things we've talked about over the last 3 years. Didymos, the DART test, Elon Musk now officially, again, it's in the news that he is helping with the asteroid defense. I told you this 3 years ago, and now it's again coming out, and it's like, of course. There is so much there that is, right in front of you, and people aren't realizing. So remember, when you go to this website, you will see all of the links. So we back up every single link before every single show. So you have every document, video, article, you know where it's coming from. It's all right there. And then there is also web-only content that we can't share on any platform. That will be over there in the bottom half of the page. So a bunch more content that you get right there for absolutely nothing. All right, and then if you want to support us, on the right side is all of our affiliates, including EMP, which has a sale going, and Nord. Again, thank you guys in advance for helping. We appreciate it. We are truly independent. We don't have a multi-channel network. We don't have, we don't have an office. So thank you so much for supporting. All right. Dex is my co-host and my internet brother. Let's bring him in. He is also our tech expert. What is going on?
Well, hello, Adam, and hello, Foogle fam. Doing well.
So there's a lot to unpack here, but just to get started, of course, let's start with the soft stuff. U.S. has secret evidence of UFOs breaking sound barrier without a sonic boom. So one thing that I thought was weird is, like, we've heard all these weird booms. In fact, just a week and a half ago in California, they had a mysterious boom that no one was able to explain, including USGS. That they said that there was no earthquake, but people all over the place for miles and miles and miles actually felt shaking. So they not only heard a boom, we actually had a video of it. In fact, if you go to the last show, I believe a caller called in... somebody who submitted to the Friday show, the unidentified, and had actual security footage of his porch when that boom hit. Now, that has an actual boom, but, is that a sonic boom, or does a sonic boom have a specific signature that they're measuring this with? I wonder if that's somehow related, even though that is a big boom, that is a shake, but yet it didn't trigger anything. That is super, super weird. You would think it would at least, trigger something. So again, they probably know what it is, but they're not going to tell us. I think that it was something coming in from space, And I think there's a whole lot more. In fact, I have proven, if you are new to the channel, we have proven with stats, and we've backed that up on our website, of the sightings of things coming in our atmosphere, not only doubling, not only tripling, but quadrupling in the last 4 years. Each year it has gone up. Now you're getting people with regular cell phone videos of actual things coming in our atmosphere. And, there's not really much to argue that. It's all over the place. There's videos all over. So, and it's pretty obvious when you see it. It looks like something coming in from space. At night, I personally, in 1 week last year, saw 2 come right in and break apart. Now, of course, luckily they broke apart, but that is what is happening. And again, people aren't going to believe it until it's too late. Look at what Elon Musk, look at what Bezos is doing. Look what all these guys are doing. They're preparing some sort of system or defense, and it's not from China or Russia. At the same time, you've got, it's almost like they have a plan for when it happens, and other countries are kind of like, rubbing their hands together saying, this is our chance. That's my personal thoughts. Again, that's my opinion. It says, U.S. has secret evidence of UFOs breaking sound barrier without a sonic boom and performing moves humans don't have the technology for, says T-Man's director of national intelligence. It says the USO has evidence of this, and it says that they are making maneuvers that are impossible with known technology, the former director of national intelligence has revealed. The revelations increased excitement about the forthcoming report detailing about what the U.S. government has observed. Now, remember, when this report comes out, it's probably going to be, washed away, redacted. We're not going to get what we think we're going to get. But, of course, we've had actual sources say that they have recovered things that are not from this earth. It's like, what does that mean? In fact, I think in that same sentence they said, and the findings will change change how we think, in general, just period. It will change how the world thinks about space. So a lot of people have this consideration that, there may be some sort of false, disclosure of some sort. But, what do you think? Put it in the chat below. I'll be in there in just a second. It says John Ratcliffe, who served as DT's director of national intelligence, said that many of the incidents still have no explanation. There, I'm sure, is examples that you possibly have. That's why I started doing Unidentified, because so many people were sending us videos and things that, obviously, why would we just keep all of that without sharing it? There's been, I would say 80% that are like, oh, okay, and 20% that are just like, wow, how are people, catching this kind of stuff, and why is that not the news? In fact, that is why YouTube and this kind of forum is becoming the news. People don't people don't trust mainstream media. Everybody is already, kind of on the train over here. That's why they are trying to take away less people like us and actually put that mainstream and just move it right over. They're just trying to port CNN and all those different networks right over to here and make them as big as possible. It seems to me like there might be some kind of manipulation to make those kind of networks to the top. Well, I actually know there is. In fact, on all major news stories, they make sure to give an authoritative source the first rankings. So does that mean that it is not fair for me as somebody who covers current events? You be the judge. Dex, have you ever thought about that? We don't have the same chances that other people do to get in there. No SEO.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's for sure. We don't. One of the things, and I'm jumping back to the topic that Ratcliffe was saying here, is that he admitted that there are many other, and we would know this in general, or we suspect this in general, but he admitted there are many other sightings, and not just a sighting of a report from a pilot, but picked up from multiple sensors that they've been tracking. And this is, he even speculates that it could even be technology from our adversaries if it's not otherworldly. Yeah,
so he's saying it could be China, it could be Russia, but the chances are very low, unless they have something that, in that case, then we need to be worried anyways. Russia was one of the first to say they had hypersonic, which, if you think about it, that's kind of crazy. that they publicly came out. Maybe we had that before them. We just didn't publicly come out and say it. Maybe that's what their kind of spies found out, and maybe they even stole it from us, but it was never public on our end. Maybe it was because, you know, we had it in the bag. What is even crazier is countries like China. Somebody just said, in fact, my wife read this to me yesterday morning, or maybe it was this morning, basically talking about one of the officials. Now, Dex, we didn't cover this. We probably should have, but I guess we can now. There was a Chinese government official basically talking like, America can't even talk to us like that anymore. America is not what they used to be. And basically, they don't need to talk down to us because right now, we're not below you anymore. That's kind of scary to think about. And the majority of people have this old school look that China is behind us in all different ways, right? Including manufacturing our blueprints with the material and all of the warehouses and things that produce almost everything else we use. I don't think people realize how much of our quality products are actually made in China, or our quality products that have parts and pieces from China. They have manufacturing down. That's one of their strong suits. It's, in fact, one of their strongest suits. Making things, again, they had a reputation for having a lot of companies with no morals or no laws that pushed them down. So a lot of KOs and knockoff things came out of China. So that's what gave that kind of opinion. Not only that, of course, toys and things like this. It was just so crappy that people got that impression. There's many other reasons why, and it's because it was true, but it is no longer true, and that's something that a lot of people are afraid to say. And a lot of people are afraid that, people won't consider them a country-loving person if they say that China is coming up on us. They know China is coming up on us. They've done the task force. They know that they are right there. So anyways, this sightings things, John Ratcliffe is basically telling us, yeah, this is much bigger than we think. And then the
date is June 1st, by the way. That's the date when the report is due. That's
I know.
Days.
So we're running out of time. We have 2 months, roughly to a little bit over 2 months. So we'll see what happens. I bet it's going to be highly redacted. You guys already know it. Lori Byington, thank you so much for your support. Scotty Martin, thank you, and says fire emoji. And then Jacob Israel, thank you so much. Again, thank you, and great show. I mean, we could do a whole show unpacking your show. Great job. I loved how you put that together because if you have not seen Jacob's last video, he put a lot of time into that. You can tell. Going over Didymos, the twins, the actual biblical meaning of these kind of twins coming in the final days. We'll meet the brothers, the twins. Didymos, the two asteroids. You've got Osiris Rex. You've got Hayabusa. You have, of course, the DART mission, double asteroid redirection test. We knew 3 years ago when we said that we believed that Elon Musk, of course, was talking about asteroid defense. For a while, nobody talked about that, and then all of a sudden it came right back in. Now he's going to send a rocket and, of course, smash into an asteroid. It's Elon's plan to help save Earth from an asteroid, right? Why? Why are we going to the moon again? Why was Space Force formed out of nowhere? Why did they all of a sudden all go to space? Why did Israel go there? Why did China, Russia, why are they putting a Noah's Ark on the moon? Those are things that Jacob just went over in his video, and it was really, really good. In fact, we talked about Noah's Ark when that came out. They just sent sperm samples to the moon. What the hell are they preparing for? And then we have the world's first ship tunnel to be built under Norwegian mountains. Ship tunnel, so boats. It says Norway has got the go-ahead, and get this is where it comes in and it makes you scratch your head. It's the amount of money they're putting into this. It says, build as the world's first ship tunnel designed to help vessels navigate the treacherous Stedhavet Sea. Building this engineering marvel will cost somewhere in the region of 2.8 billion Norwegian krone, or about 330 million, and take between 3 or 4 years, which is actually crazy when you look at what they're planning on doing in the mountain that they're planning on doing it. That's insane that they're actually saying 3 or 4 years. The viaduct here took it seemed like 20 years. But I wonder how long that actually took. I know they had a lot of stop-ups, but basically a tunnel dug out of the ground. This is a tunnel with water. I wonder how they're going to do that. It says, at the moment, ships navigating the surrounds of Steadhavet are often impacted by rough tides and bad weather. Sometimes ships have to wait for days in the nearest harbor for weather conditions to improve. But inside the tunnel, weather and tide shouldn't impact transit. Making ships' journeys safer and smoother could lead to high-speed ferry service, suggests Andresian, and also strengthen the area's industrial and commercial activity. It will be connected better and easier to travel. So another thing is one person theorized that they are making side tunnels and that it is also going to be used as that is going to be the entrance for some sort of secret kind of area. That I don't know, and that we have no proof of, but I would love if you guys dug deeper into it and let me know. It says, where would a major tsunami strike? Malibu, Venice, and Long Beach, get ready. When state geologists were looking for the hypothetical origin of the worst tsunami that could strike Southern California in 1,000 years, they found it in the Aleutian Trench off the Alaskan coastline. A magnitude 9.3 underwater earthquake could generate a wave that would hit Southern California several hours later and inundate portions of Malibu, Santa Monica, Venice, Marina del Rey, Long Beach, and 2 of the busiest ports in the nation. It says that it is the worst case scenario, but there are plenty of other possibilities for catastrophes. Earthquakes along undersea faults near Catalina and the Anacapa Islands, as well as submarine landslides off of the Palos Verdes Peninsula. It says could generate tsunamis capable of flooding those same areas in just minutes. It makes us think of the new Navy map where it shows basically the whole West Coast is underwater. Parts of the middle of the country are underwater. And, of course, half of Canada is underwater in that new Navy map. Now, you can think what you want about that map. There's many different opinions on that and where it came from and the earliest mention of it and the earliest sighting of it. But there are people that thoroughly believe it. And that maybe it's just a prediction of what is going to happen once we get one of these subduction zones or one of these massive, massive earthquakes. Remember, subduction zones can make mountains. Mountains can form out of a giant earthquake where you have 2 tectonic plates smashing into each other. Pretty crazy. Same with volcanoes. All that stuff is tectonic plates and such. To help local emergency officials prepare, the California Geological Survey has released new maps that show the extent of flooding the worst tsunamis could produce in Los Angeles County. Now, Dex, I have been to different places like Ocean Shores, which is a guaranteed just gone when we get Cascadia. And some of the things, it's like even people that live there don't know the tsunami routes or they don't really see the signs. And it's like, at that point, do you really even have a chance? You know, you only have a few minutes. And obviously, right after the earthquake happens, people are going to be just panicked.
Well, yeah, I think the one thing you showed and you've seen are those towers, right? To me, that seems like the only logical potential way to save lives, right? Is to head up a tower if you don't have a hill. If you have a hill, head up the hill, right?
Yeah, if you have the towers. And let me show you what exactly Dex is talking about here. These are tsunami towers. And they're building them all over Washington, but not, I mean, like, you should have one in sight at pretty much any coastline city right now because that is what the experts suggest. They feel like military believe we are overdue. And I can say that for a fact because there's a FEMA military, basically a correspondent between the two that is ranking officer that basically has to coordinate the response between FEMA and the military. And they say that they believed it was, due 2 or 3 years ago, 4 years ago. So we're overdue in their mind and in scientific fact, as far as most scientists believe we are overdue. These are called vertical evacuation structures. Just to show you a picture of what this is, talking about. It's basically a platform on concrete, and it's up, however many feet. Some say that these are not nearly high enough. There's a lot of these being put up in the local high schools. What's even crazier is they weren't doing anything about the schools in the inundation zone, the zone that is going to be underwater, until the actual children at the school got together and started lobbying to either move the school or to put in some sort of preventative measures. So children actually found out about the risk that was due to themselves. And when they got loud, all of the news covered it and they said, okay, now we have to do something. They immediately passed a bill, tons of money, and they've moved schools. They're actually moving whole entire schools. Those schools could have been there for 100 years. It doesn't matter. They say they've got to go, because all of these schools are in the inundation zone. It's going to be underwater completely, not like sandbags and block the doorways. Like, there won't be any doorways to block. Pretty crazy, if you ask me, that this is the solution, especially since you don't know how high the actual waves will be. This kind of almost reminds me as well as Japan, the epic shots that we saw when 2011 rolled by and you saw these huge cargo ships getting thrown around and into the land like they, out of a movie. And there was people on roofs like this. I believe the mayor of one of the cities was on top of a building just like this. One of them died and one of them survived, holding on to like an antenna. So pretty crazy, or like a radio tower or a cell phone tower. There's tons of stories just like that from Japan in 2011. So people basically went up to their rooftops and instead of running, because they didn't have time, they didn't even know that 9+ earthquake was going to happen. They didn't know about it. They built all of their buildings to a standard of 8.6, which, by the way, is one of the most prepared places in the world. They put, they sliced checks that they said, oh, well, this isn't, we don't need this now, but our grandkids might. And that's how their culture is. They say, okay, well, if this helps our grandkids, let's do it. And they'll cut a check. Whereas here, we're reactive. We're not proactive. This is going to be a big deal. This is going to be the biggest deal you've ever seen. You're going to know people. It will be like, I guess to relate this back in the day, like Vietnam. Everyone knew somebody who was lost in Vietnam. If not directly, somebody in your family or somebody close, died in Vietnam or was taken. It will be the same thing. Or WW2, right? So it will be like that. You're going to know somebody that's affected by the tsunami and the earthquakes. AP sources. Actually, I'm not going to skip this. Hold on. Pentagon wants new command and control system to counter hypersonic cruise and missile threat. First, I'm going to go over to the chat. Thank you so much, James, for subscribing. Welcome to the Fugel fam. I appreciate that. If you do subscribe during the live show, you will get a shout out. Starving Artist, thank you for subscribing as well. We just surpassed 140,000. Thank you guys. In fact, I didn't even say that at the beginning. This is our first show at 140,000 subscribers. So very blessed and very, very thankful for every person around me, all of the mods that have helped us get here. Dex, of course, for helping us get here. Again, thank you all for being here. Seriously. And a perfect screen name, Starving Artist, right? Twisted Thoughts, thanks for all you guys do. We appreciate it. Sanja Seismic says, God bless you, Marf, Dex, in Jesus' mighty name. Ohio Elevator Fan, thank you so much again. I appreciate your support. And then Sparky's Run, thank you for being the last one out last time. And then it looks like we have, I'm going to pull up the main chat here. Bob, thank you, says test. Well, test worked. Gardner Josh, hey everyone. Colby Jack, Apple Juice, hey, thanks for all you do. God bless the fam and Fugler, says Apple Juice. Jem, what's going on? Thank you for being here almost every show. Denon Sanders, Johnny Doom, Jasmine Henderson. We've got Shy the Coffee, Serenity PA, Green Bay Lady, Tracy Burham, Julie Cleary, Missy May, Vango 54, Anton XXX, Mist Dragon, and Maria Medlock. Thank you. And then, Dex, if you can you check what we have, how many people we have watching when you get a chance, and you don't have to do it now.
Actually, I've got it. So it looks like 37, almost 38, slowly approaching 4,000 total.
Oh, well, thank you guys. I appreciate it. And then over on DLive, it looks like about 1.2 thousand. Thank you, everybody over on DLive as well. Just to show as well, thank you so far. This stream, Jimmy Shively, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. It looks like it sent a Ninja Genie. Same with Kelly2334, Zippy Moons, PMC 2020, and then Gone Girl. Thank you, and I'm welcome back. All right, let's get into it. Pentagon wants new command and control system to counter hypersonic cruise missile threat. On top of this, there is the, of course, to talk about the Starlink. We said 3 years ago that was going to be used for some sort of asteroid defense, and now they are saying that it is going to be used for hypersonic defense. So some of the Starlink, which, if you do know, they are going to make a grid around Earth. It's going to be like a satellite grid. Astronomers are not liking it because when any astrophotographer is going to just be pissed because you're going to see nothing but lines. But on top of that, is it necessary? Are they doing it for a defense purpose more so than an internet purpose? Did Elon Musk really do this whole huge thing, billions of dollars, to give everyone internet? Are those $5 plans or whatever he's selling, $20 plans? Is that what the future is of internet? Possibly. But does it have a second purpose? We know it does. Now it says that the Pentagon, of course, is preparing. In 2017, Russia became the first country in the world to deploy nuclear-capable hypersonic missiles, with their development begun after the U.S. withdrew from the Anti-Ballistic Missile Treaty and started building a missile shield. It says that Moscow sees the weapons as a guarantee against decapitation strikes. And by decap strikes, they mean basically taking the head off of the dragon. It says China has also has been successful with hypersonics, and their program is actually coming out, and now it is going to be deployed if it is not already. So it says that the U.S. Missile Defense Agency, or MDA, the arm of the Pentagon responsible for creating a layered defensive shield against ballistic missile attack, has issued a formal request for information, or RFI, to weapons makers for the creation of a new command and control, battle management, and communication system. So Dex, you realize what this means, right? They've made Space Force, which is a new branch. Now they're making a new command and control center. I wonder what the details behind this is.
Yeah, I was looking everywhere trying to find the connection to Starlink, and I know it's going to be there at some point.
See, I'm telling
you,
it
just seems like it.
Oh no! I bet you that there is going to be a 100% article that comes out and says it, because first of all, nobody thought when I first said it, we had a couple military members that basically suggested that the Starlink was not for internet, or it wasn't only for internet. When I told you that 3 years ago, everybody said, yeah, whatever. Mind you, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, there was all these interviews of Elon Musk when it was before a lot of the space stuff was getting big. And, of course, they talked about him helping out with asteroid defense. And then it went quiet. It was super weird. Then we had the Sunspot Observatory closed down because they had some sort of ring going on. You had 6 other observatories shut down. So basically they were telling us that these observatories that are looking into space were actually involved in some sort of weird, one of those things where, trafficking, all that kind of stuff, stuff that you'd find on the computer that you should never look at. That kind of stuff. They said that was why Sunspot shut down, and that's why there was Apache helicopters and Black Hawk helicopters flying all around, because they found something on the guy's computer. Doesn't seem like a matching response. You'd think maybe SWAT team, maybe even, go in there guns blazing, but doesn't seem right to me. Maybe, just maybe, one of my theories is that they discovered something, and what was even crazier is they went to the entire neighborhood and asked everybody if they had talked to that person. That doesn't seem, I don't know, something about it. Like, have you talked to them? Have you had any interaction? The guy that did the video that was a neighbor and said that they asked if he had him in his phone, asked if there was any messages to or from him. It's kind of like the Timothy Cunningham situation that happened a couple years ago, where he mysteriously disappeared from the cat agency over there in Atlanta, Georgia. And then, of course, he left his phone, his keys, his car, his shoes. So apparently he went running barefoot, and he left his wallet, which his family said he would never do. He'd never leave all of that at home and leave the dog locked in. He would go with the dog, right? And, of course, they didn't find him, and they didn't find him, and they didn't find him, and kept asking questions. Well, the news kind of snooped around, and a local channel went over to his neighbors, and this woman said, "Oh, yeah, I thought it was really weird. A couple days before it happened, he came over and talked to my husband and says, 'Does your wife have my number in her phone? Tell her to delete it.'" And nobody's talking about this still to this day. Do you think she just made that up? Not only that, another neighbor said that he was aggressive, yelling at somebody, and it looked like he was panicked 2 days before, that he was sweating and paranoid and looking all around. That's weird. But yet it is a closed case, and it's all done. And then all of a sudden, fancy enough, an event happens just after that. And it was funny, he was in the position where he would respond to one of those events that happens worldwide. Lots of weird stuff, but my point is, why did they go and connect with every neighbor to try to see if they had contact? Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. It's nothing. Nope. This is today's layered active missile defense system. You can go on the website and actually see this, but this has kind of a small graph of the different defense segments that we have. Of course, you've heard of some of these, and then you probably haven't heard of some. Again, now they have hypersonic, and they have to defend against this. So now they're going to need like some sort of new fancy office. Maybe it's just a reason for them to funnel a crap load of money. Julie Size, very suspect. Yeah. He only responded to worldwide, outbreaks and stuff. By the way, Hillary, I love that woman. And I love my life, my family, not depressed. White House says U.S. evaluating appropriate next steps on China. It says that the B admin is evaluating the next steps of the U.S.'s policy toward following a high-level bilateral meeting last week. White House spokesman Jen Psaki said, am I saying her name right, by the way? I didn't. When I see her name, I don't put that with the face. Is it Psaki or?
I think so. I don't know.
I really don't watch. I try to read what she says. We will be evaluating what the appropriate next steps are in close coordination with our partners and allies around the world. It says Psaki also said that the B admin believes that China is noticing that the U.S. is engaging in closer coordination with allies and partners. So believes China is noticing that the U.S. is engaging in closer coordination with allies and partners. What does that sound like to you, Dex?
Well, I mean, it sounds like a weak statement of trying to say that we're drilling with our partner, with our allies. But, it's pretty passive when I look at this. This is not very strong, at least in my opinion. That's just my opinion.
I think it's just one more time them saying that we are preparing for something, and they're publicly saying, you guys are doing a lot of drills. What the heck's going on?
Contrast this kind of statement with what you get from Z and what you get from, say, NK, right? I mean, on the other side of the fence, it's like, pit bulls, and over here it's like puppy dogs.
That's right. Absolutely. Especially some of the stuff we get from all, those places. It's like, that's kind of, somebody said, flowers and rainbows. All right, so didn't want to skip this. This is really important as far as for those of you that have been waiting. I hope that that you guys are going to check this out. So EMP Shield is still doing their huge sale, but on top of that, we have ours, and you can actually combine them. So if you've never heard of these guys are not only contracted with DHS, DOD, and all these guys, they are now officially on the DEMSO team helping protect the Texas grid. This device, and there's many different types of devices, there's one for your car, for your generator, one for your house, can protect you against an EMP or a solar flare. Again, this can actually protect you against all three phases, which E1, E2, and E3, and it can actually protect your house or your car or anything against lightning, which nobody really thinks about here, but in the Midwest, a lot of people get struck and they end up paying more than one device just in a deductible from the damage. So again, right now, on top of our $50 off per device, they are doing, if you get 2, it's $20. If you get 3, it's $30 off per device, $440 and $550. And that makes a huge difference because a lot of people, if you have a family of 3, you want to put an EMP shield on each car. Mind you, the car is definitely the most popular one. Somebody like myself can put it in my car in about 5 minutes. The house one, again, these are amazing, amazing devices. Make sure to check them out, though. Don't tell us that we did not give you the opportunity, because one of the last sales I did, forget to mention it a lot, and people were pretty mad, actually. So this is probably the best thing they've done since Black Friday of last year. So check it out. Make sure to do that. marfugelnews.com/EMP. That's again, marfugelnews.com/EMP. All right. And then Dex, we have, of course, the iCountry, and I'm going to zoom in and highlight this. For some reason, my full screen isn't working here. What the heck? I see what it is. Hold on here.
The rhetoric is escalating, right?
Yeah, so you want to talk about the iCountry and how they're threatening the U.S. Army, and of course they've done the most rhetoric out of anybody right now.
Absolutely, and so not only that, they're going after a specific post at the U.S. Capitol. I shouldn't have said that word. Sorry, and a specific person, a chief of staff, that they're targeting, and they're putting out a lot of words, let's call it, towards this, and we've seen this, and we talked about, was it Soleimani when we did that, and the backlash that comes from that. We've talked about the escalation that has recently happened starting in January, after the transition from one administration to the other, about continued events in the Middle East. So we're seeing that ramp up, and then we're seeing the adversaries of this iCountry also now asking for more help and asking to do more drills and prepare specifically around oil fields, ramping up security, because it's just the heat and the pressure cooker is building between that country and the others. And it just seems like it's ripe for rewinding back to where we were 5 years ago, 6 years ago, when we had all of this, tension and conflict going on over there. It just seems like we're heading right back in that direction.
And this time we have military groups all over the country actually preparing for, lights out scenarios. So we have so many different things coming our way at the same time. When I've talked to other people in my niche behind the scenes, they agree. Some of them don't even want to say what they think because they don't want to scare people. And honestly, part of this is that we should not, one thing is if we do have information, we try to give it out as much as we can. Sometimes it's going to be scary, but at the same time, it doesn't have to be if we are prepared. And at some point, you have to come to a realization that if it's, a level of beyond scary, so say if we get hit with something or a nuke, it's like you're going to be gone in a second anyways. I would be more prepared spiritually, and if you are not religious, then, it's not going to be a big deal. If you are, then I guess I would be more worried about when it does happen, it's going to be instant. And if you kind of had all of your cards in line. So big shout out though. Hold that thought. Thank you, Dixie Doe. Man, oh man. So just want to read that message. Dixie Doe just flew in a Ninjet over at DLive. Thank you. That is the highest compliment over there that you can give somebody. So thank you so much. Dixie Doe says, more Fugle News, flying to the highest mountain, spreading truth. Much love, Adam, Dex, and mods. Love all of the fam. Dixie Doe, seriously, thank you. And thank you for supporting Independent. I will make sure to do a shoutro song for you tonight. And I believe you were already on the Ninjet list. But, again, thank you so much. And Dex, if she isn't, make sure to add her. Miss Murph, MRSA1 is in the house. Gem, thank you so much. And then again, thank you, PMC 2020, for looks like 2 Ninja Guineas. Gone Girl, thank you so much as well. Thank you, and I'm so glad you're back. And Jimmy Shively, thank you for being here. Kelly2334, once again, almost at every show. Thank you, everybody, for being so loyal and awesome. It says, I has made threats against Fort McNair, an Army post in the U.S., and against the Army's Vice Chief of Staff. So down here it says the threats are one reason that the Army has been pushing more security around Fort McNair, which sits alongside Washington's bustling, newly developed waterfront district. So I just want to point out that not only Fort McNair, but all of these different bases are getting hyped up. You have military equipment getting moved all over the world. China is prepping their Spratly Islands. You've got Russia, who over the last couple of years has done lots of stuff like separating their internet completely. You're talking about them actually training without any kind of electricity either. I didn't know this. I knew we've covered many stories about us training without electricity or GPS. Almost every base has a side training, and they're doing night training. They are doing training without power, training without GPS, including pilots, Air Force pilots flying without GPS. Whole, half of a state was actually turned off. They basically blocked out GPS for half of a state and jammed it because they expect to not have any kind of GPS or computer-assisted guidance. That's a big deal. Not only that, you have Tesla, which it's still, I don't know if we've confirmed this yet, but major sources have come out, major authoritative sources have said that Tesla has been seen at different grids, and they're putting in these massive backup batteries. Tesla in the power game. We're talking about, huge batteries, bigger than a Tesla. And they know that because they've seen the Tesla Crew, Tesla hats moving in these giant, whatever kind of batteries they make. I don't know if they're NiCad or lithium ion or whatever the heck the Tesla batteries are made of. So those have been being put in. You've got, of course, the internet has done many changes, and then the different events that have happened over the last couple of years. It's almost like people are getting kind of herded around. It's really weird.
And I wonder how much Boring Company has to do with this. We hear about the commercial end of Boring Company, right? Like, oh, yeah, we're building a tunnel for transportation. How many other tunnels is Boring Company doing that we don't know about? Look at all these contracts he's got with the government.
How many bases is he making? How many DUMs is he making? How many tunnels for nuclear, response is he making? Think about it. Tesla, Elon is not only involved, he's basically involved in the end of the world protection company. You're talking about he is involved in getting us off Earth and terraforming Mars. He's involved in the Boring Company, contracted by the government to dig holes underground. Think about that. He's also involved with the neural network that he's doing as far as we're talking about connecting people to computers, their actual brain, the brain interface. And now Tesla is potentially protecting our grid because some of another massive catastrophe that could happen. So what are they preparing for? Think about this. It's all out in front of you. But people, they just say it's something else, and if they say it with enough repetition and have enough authoritative sources say, oh no, you're crazy, that's a theory, that's a theory, that's a theory, that's a theory, then people don't see it. But guess what? How many things that we know for a 100% fact are true today that we thought were a theory 5 years ago? In fact, they're not going to bring back those YouTubers or the people they deleted because they were saying, hey, I think this. And guess what? Now those are true things and not theories. Pretty crazy. Let's see here. This is okay. So they're basically preparing and prepping this place up. They are adding all sorts of things in. So keep that in mind. They're prepping that up. All right, and then if you want to support us in another way, remember today's show is brought to you by NordVPN. It is very much appreciated, but again, if you know anybody that is about computers, you can ask them. Do not have, you should not be online without a virtual private network, or at least if you're spending a lot of time on there, this is a really great way to protect yourself. Nord is not only one of the highest rated, of course we are lucky to have them. Again, they are also one of the best. You can get a special savings of up to 70% off on a 3-year plan if you go with the code MarFugal. Go to marfugalnews.com/VPN. We could have picked from any of them, Express or any of these others. This one we specifically picked because it was not only highest rated, but it was also one of the easiest. You can just turn it on and off. You don't have to be an expert. Once you install it, it does everything for you. You don't have to type. You barely even have to type in it. Just, turn it on and turn it off like a light switch. All right, again, that is a way you can also protect your devices. You should have that on your cell phones when you're using Wi-Fi, or your tablets or your kids' tablets. It's a great way to protect. Okay, let's get into it. First of its kind study shows water hundreds of feet below the surface of Lake Michigan is warming. That's a lot of water. That's a lot of change. So, Dex, I'm going to have you come in on this one in just a second. But I do want to point out, thank you so much to Skadobi Mama. Says, Marf, it's Kyrgyzstan. Praying you are better. Well, thank you. I am. I'm feeling a lot better. It's like day 5 or day 4 of the antibiotics. If you don't know, or if you knew, I had diverticulitis, which basically my gut almost ruptured. So thank you so much. I really do appreciate all of you guys, and thank you for caring. Christine 1980, thank you. Jammer, thank you. Again, you don't have to do that. Thank you for gifting out Marfia badges to Grandma Sassy Pants. What a name. I love that. Kelly2334, thank you. And Stan Strong Woman, thank you. Gone Girl, love it. What did that say? Gone Girl. Wow, phone went out completely for a minute. Weird. No problem. Glad you're here, though, and I'm sorry you're having problems getting on. Lisa K23, sorry to miss the beginning. Lisa, thank you. All these people, it's so amazing that I know almost all of you, and there's thousands of you. So, pretty amazing. And then Seeking Truth over on YouTube, Goodwitchy, Jay Rocco, Just Between Us. I love it. T-Lock. We've got King Escobar, Sherry Zirkle, Harley Quinn, Doug Ryan, Born a Hawkeye, Tammy from Virginia. Thank you for being here. Shout out to Virginia. Sean Young, WJ315, The Ann Lynn Show. We have everybody tonight. We even had Jacob Israel in the house. We had all sorts of people. What an amazing, amazing night. Okay. So, Dex, what do you think this is? The water is warming under Lake Michigan. Could this be some sort of volcanic action? We've seen volcanoes all over the world all of a sudden active. What do you think this is?
So, you've got to, I don't know, on one hand, you got to take it with a grain of salt and look at the whole, climate conversation that goes on with this. And, so you have to put that lens on and look at it. But then you also can take that lens off and say, let's not even pay attention to that. And let's just talk, is there actual data here? And if there's data showing that the water underneath is warming up, the real question is why? Is that happening because of a volcano? Is that happening because of, the sun is baking through the water better. I don't know. I don't know if that really happens, but you know what I mean? Like, what is actually causing this to happen in that lake and at a deep level, right? That's pretty
Below
weird.
it.
You would never think that would happen, right? You would think it's ice at the top and it's cold down to, you know, the typical underground temperature of like 56 degrees is usually underground, right? At its coldest. So, you know, what's causing it to raise up? That just makes no sense.
Wait a second, but aren't they saying that the oceans are heating up too? What if it's actually from below the ocean and in the Earth's core, or supposedly in the core?
Exactly. So that goes back to the point of, is there something happening on Earth, below Earth, right, that's causing this to this heating effect?
Think about if Yellowstone blew up, and people think of that as a Pierce Brosnan movie, right, where volcanoes blowing up is fiction. But volcanoes are real, and just because you don't live near one doesn't mean they don't exist. In fact, actually, most of you live near one but don't even realize it. All down the West Coast, it's the Ring of Fire, and you've got probably, I mean, it's like almost everybody lives near a volcano. I have one that I can see almost every day, Mount Rainier. It's like, boom, there's a volcano, there's a volcano, there's a volcano. Mount Hood, Mount Shasta, all these different mountains, they're all volcanoes. Mount St. Helens. Those are just here, right? They're all over the place. But as far as Yellowstone, I asked Chris Goldfinger, the leading seismologist on the Cascadia subduction zone, I said, can the San Andreas, say a big, huge 8.0 earthquake, be triggered by the 9.0 plus Cascadia, or possibly even the Yellowstone volcano? Could it be triggered? And he said that 20 years ago, they would have said, no, you're crazy. Nobody in the field would have put their back behind it. Now they know as a fact that one earthquake can cause not only another earthquake, but can also cause volcanic eruptions, which basically that is because you're talking about tectonic plates. You're moving stuff, everything's shifting rapidly, and then that can trigger stuff to break. It's like if you have water in a balloon and all of a sudden you shake it up and it hits a needle. All of a sudden it starts draining. I don't know if that's a good analogy, but probably totally not scientific. There's a scientist out there that's like, no, that's not it at all, and it would be draining like a bladder. I don't know, but you get my point. It would affect it, though. I don't know how scientifically, but they do know that it would or could be affected. And Yellowstone being triggered by Cascadia is a concern of the government. That is a 100% fact. They have a plan for it, and they also have kind of a kiss our ass goodbye plan for it. There are 4 states that are just going to be like wiped out. And then around that, if it is bad as like the worst case scenario, you're talking about the sun will be blocked out from Earth. Would we have to go to another planet if that happened? Probably. Think about that one. So there's like every catastrophe known to man, and it brings you back to why are all of it, it almost goes, how are all of these lining up at the same time? Like, it's like, oh, I thought you said it was going to be this. Guess what? It might be all of them. We might be in final days, folks, and if you open up your mind and you realize that the world is spiritually bigger than all of us, it's very possible. Look at all the signs that are happening. It is downright just right in our faces. It says change in the climate has reaching all the way down to the depths of one of the Earth's largest lakes. So they're actually saying that it could be change in the Cly, right? It says water hundreds of feet below the surface of Lake Michigan is warming, especially in winter, according to a report published this week by National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. The warming could change the seasonal patterns of the lake and alter a way of life and ecosystems. Now, just to treat everybody like they've never been to Lake Michigan is gigantic. It is huge on a map. It is just absolutely, it's not even, I mean, it's like, it looks like an ocean, right? This thing is giant. So why is the water heating up at the bottom? It says the water's warming. Winters reflect rising surface temperatures and prolonged summers. Some of the most pronounced jumps in winter temperatures are occurring near the Great Lakes. Records dating back to 1973 show maximum ice coverage across the Great Lakes is declining 5% per decade. Lake Michigan ice coverage decline is about 3.6. It says Lake Michigan is demictic, meaning it's a top to bottom mix of water. Call them twice a year. With warmer surface temperatures, the fall mixing cycle is starting later and leading to shortened cooling period for deep waters and a longer summer period without mixing. It says, quote, the organisms that live there, the plankton and the fish, are used to the lake the way it was. It says they evolved over thousands of years to take advantage of those systems that mixed twice a year. And it says if the lake changes to warm monomictic, mixing once a year, Stowe said it would signal fundamental change. It would basically screw up all the fish, and it would screw up all of the plankton and all the kind of ecosystem that works in there. It says, and the other thing you have to remember is that it's not just the only thing going on. Stowe says, noting changes spurred by invasive zebra and quaggle mussels, all of it is happening at the same time. So we have change all over the world that we are seeing everywhere. It is insanity. It is, I mean, it's, what are you supposed to say? People aren't covering all of this in one place. I guess we are, so it does seem like it's a lot. It can be scary. Tent Dweller, thank you, and I appreciate your support. You can always write a message there. Bones, you know you don't have to support. You already support by being a mod, but thank you. Thanks for being the homie. Thanks for supporting our cause. I appreciate that. Heidi12, hi, glad you're feeling better. Thank you. I do. I really do. Jen B, I'm very blessed to be here. Like I said in that video about Tyler, it's like, the one thing though, it's like, why do we need to, why are we like that? If somebody's sick, we'll treat him good, but why can't we just treat him good all the time? Jen B, thank you so much for your support. And then, of course, Maddie's Mommy 14, we'll get over to that. Brian Susmalich, sincerely appreciate all you and the Fugel fam have. I've suffered from diverticulitis several times, but haven't been hospitalized in a year since I changed my diet. Praying for you to keep it up. Brian, and that's the thing, I've changed it, so I guess I'm just going to have to drink water for the rest of my life. But seriously, I've changed everything, and it still happens, so hopefully I don't have to get the surgery in a colostomy bag. Jay Thomas had a dream last night that the Lord took me to a terrorist cell in the U.S. They were Armenians. Their name in English is Watch and Wait. That is creepy, JT. Really. LG, thank you so much. Again, maybe JT, call in on our future show. We're going to do a dream show here soon. LG, again, I don't want to hear any complaining when we do the dream show because I've warned you guys for months. Some people don't like hearing other people's dreams. Some people love it. So I don't mind doing a show on it. I think it'll be interesting. But don't complain if we have to put up a show of dreams. LG, thank you, Skyfall. Maddie's Mommy 14, thank you, Dex, and everything else who makes this show possible. Google Marfugel, hashtag smash that like button. I never asked you to smash that like button, but thank you, Maddie's Mommy, for doing it for me, because honestly, I just expect if you do like it that you'll reach out and you'll do that. It does help us, and I just never really say it. Lola Cafe, thank you so much. Linda Covington. Again, Lola Cafe, thank you for being here a long time. You've been here a long time. Really appreciate it. I remember seeing your name the first time I saw it because there's a Lola Cafe in West Seattle. And that was, was that 3 years ago? Linda Covington, to give thanks to all of the wrenched mods. Linda, great call. S. Nort says, so glad you're feeling better. At least you sound hugely enthusiastic again. Thank you, S. Nort. I cannot see any other way to look at things when, health is taken for granted every day by every single person out there. Thinking about Rob Matters and people like that who just got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and I think we should be happy. Why are we so sad all the time? Machina Opus, thank you, from Australia. Oh, man. Yeah, all the cool people here. Mary Davison, sending love and appreciation on my birthday. Thanks for all the hard work, Adam and Dex. Mary Davison, I will make sure to throw in a happy birthday in the shoutro. Laura Drejos, hope you're feeling better. Hi from South Tacoma, Washington. And White Knight. Thank you, everybody. Vanessa Doe, I'll get to that in a minute, and I'll actually go over there and read that as well. But first, global shortage in computer chips reach crisis point. Dex, do you like how they put reach crisis point? Guess what? This is pretty crazy, though, because people don't realize where these are made and how they're made and why.
Well, it certainly is. And the way I look at this is like, think about when you walk in, well, we don't go into stores that often anymore, but think about when you look at even just simple kitchen electronics, right? Like, you know, a pressure cooker now is connected to your Wi-Fi so you can control it from your phone. Okay. How many devices are being turned into mini computers, right? It is exponentially growing. And it's been doing that. If you rewind a year ago, it's been doing that every month, every year. More and more stuff is coming out that's electronic. And if you think about the electronic cars, not just the electric power, but all the gadgets in the automobiles and how many computer systems have to now go in there, and even redundancy for some of that stuff, if it's critical systems, the exponential use of computers has gone up dramatically, and it continues. It's like this mountain curve. Just to look at this line shooting straight to the sky over time of how many things are adding more computer chips to it. Now, what happened was the worst thing you could possibly do while the world is expanding its demand is to actually shut down and stop making them. And that's what happened with CV, right? So you have demand growing at an exponential rate, and all of a sudden everybody collapsed and said, we're not making anything right now. We can't. Okay. That caused a huge ripple effect to the point now, you know, we've talked about it. We said it. We said this last March. We said, look, it's going to happen. You're going to see this come about. And sure enough, you slowly started to feel the pressure. Well, now we're at the point now where major phone companies like Samsung are coming out and saying, we can't even release our next phone. We can't get enough of the parts to do it. So we're having to hold back. Automobile manufacturers are pulling back and saying, we can't launch new cars because we can't get enough microchips. It's crazy. Because and not only that, there is geopolitical ties into this as it relates to Taiwan and the semiconductors that are made there and who wants to control that, and then the rare earth minerals that go in to make these things, and who owns and controls that.
So again, you made a huge point there. People don't realize Taiwan is one of the only places, it is the only place in the world that manufactures those semiconductors. Is that correct?
It manufactures the largest percentage of them. Okay. Yeah, it's huge.
So to the point where when Taiwan was told, hey, you can't sell them to China, China's largest cell phone company, Huawei, which was directly connected to the government, every part of it was connected with Xi Jinping and his regime there. When they were told that they could not use American products, what happened is they've got this big phone that basically is half the price of, Google, of Samsung, of Apple, all this. It's half the price. It has all of the same specs. It has the same chip, or, very right there, right? They were coming up 3 years in a row. It was like boom, boom, boom. And they were selling just incredible amounts of phones. And people were starting to go, well, do I really need the stupid Apple back, or can I go with this one? It's got, 100 megapixel camera. They would put in little gimmicks. Either way, they were selling millions and millions of phones, and then all of a sudden, imagine this. You take away Facebook, you take away YouTube, or you take away any American company, they cannot include that on the phone. You can't use Maps. You can't use Gmail. You can't use anything on this phone or whatever. You also can't pre-install anything from America companies. You also can't work with Taiwan. So then, therefore, their semiconductors for all their chips and all their microprocessors, that was cut out of the thing. They didn't have, they had basically a stockpile because they knew it was coming. They had a stockpile. After that stockpile is done, then they had to figure out something else. But it just completely stuck a knife in their side and screwed them. So one thing I want to point out to people is think about that company, think about the connection with the government, think about the billions of dollars that cost that direct government. It was like we just took billions of dollars out of the Chinese government. It was like we stole money out of their bank, right? And not saying it was like that, but my point is, what do you think that they would do as retaliation for that? Or what do you think they would do to get something to change to where they were back in control or had somebody on the inside? I wouldn't put anything past it. And this and everything else, all these car companies, nobody can use these. Think about how many things use these chips. Every car now has everything. I mean, a car has like probably 5 of these with all of the computer systems in it. Go ahead.
And we just went through and we're going through this massive push for 6-1 Gopher, right? You know what I'm talking about? That new network. They've pushed massively to get that out there for Internet of Things, for all of these devices to be interconnected with computers. To literally think of every street light on every corner as a computer, every red light as a computer, every crosswalk is a computer, and they all have cameras on them. And cars have 20 cameras around them, and it's all being streamed into central databases, right? They're pushing for all of that. The amount of microchips, it's astronomical of what it would be needed to pull that off.
Well,
and there's a shortage.
Well, it's pretty incredible what's happening. We're going to see all of it unfold. By the way, Brian Sussmuch says, I got 2 AMPL Shield and NordVPN. Is there a way to become a monthly supporter? There is Patreon, and then there is actually a PayPal option where you just click monthly. But thank you for your support, and we do appreciate it. We are trying to build something right now that it is way bigger than we thought it was going to be. So thank you for helping us support that, and appreciate it. Sweet Peach 12241979 says, best show, hands down. Well, thank you. And then Harley Quinn says, please drink baking soda in water 3 times a day. It will heal you. I was stage 4 cancer. It healed me. That sounds insane, but I would be down to try almost anything. But make sure you know that is medical advice that you do not take from me. Diana P., thank you so much. June Ashland, maybe planet is getting closer, and the magnetic pole is causing the Earth's core to heat up. Been watching you for 4 years now. Love you guys. Thank you. That is awesome. Thank you, June. I believe I remember you from back when I used to talk about that letter 17. It's crazy. Long time. Monopoly getting long overdue. Empress 46, thank you. Sorry, I almost missed that. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate your support. Empress 46. Monopoly getting long overdue. Socially conscious makeover, Hasbro says. Oh my gosh. Oh, so is this woke or broke? We need a song. We need a song for this. We seriously do. We got to use it in the future. So, hold on. Oh my gosh.
Woke or broke? No. Woke or broke? 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 Woke or broke?
On a serious note, though, I am dead serious. We have seen a cancel culture item every single week, Dex. Have we not? We have seen...
yeah, you can almost see them every day now. It's getting crazy.
Mr. Potato Head. Cara Dune, that's one of the few that I'm like, okay, I kind of understand why the figurines and even the Lego sets, they're saying they're not going to make any more of her likeness, right? I'm not saying I understand it. Oh, no, I don't understand that at all. But I understand, like, if you're going to cancel the show, all of that, I'm not surprised that the kind of subsidiaries are going, well, you just screwed us. Now we got to cancel our thing. But as far as, like, the cancel culture and how fast and furious this is, and I actually saw an article by the 3-letter agency CNN, saying that cancel culture doesn't exist. And they tried to explain it that it's not cancel culture, it's just changing. It's like, just quiet. This is cancel culture.
Are they trying to cancel culture?
Yeah, they're saying that cancel culture is canceled. Hold on. I swear to you, they actually said that cancel culture isn't a thing. I'm just going to try to pull this up real quick in the background. Isn't a thing. I swear that was the exact words. Oh my gosh, it's time to cancel this talk of cancel culture. This is real. I can't make this stuff up. They say it's time to cancel this talk of cancel culture. Okay. So, is it a popular figure losing fans or affiliations because of their past actions? No. That's the power of public opinion. Is it someone getting fired or harassment of problematic views? No, that's a workplace doing its job. Are you kidding me? Unbiased news right here. Is it a company choosing not to publish a book or a group of people boycotting a brand? No. That's just the free market at work. You are kidding me right now. Cancel culture, as it's understood today, isn't real. Not only do people and things allegedly canceled by this imaginary movement often prevail in the end, the whole concept is a smokescreen to distract from the actual systematic forces of suppression. I am so, like, have you ever, like, you know, I could see, like, people like, I want to move out of this neighborhood. There's gunshots all the time. Have you ever, like, you know, people bitched and moaned 4 years ago saying, I'm moving out of the country. Nobody actually did. Have you actually thought about it? Or saying, oh, okay, well, there's nowhere to go. Have you ever thought, God, man, the moon and Mars is looking really good? How do they not see this as, like, they even talk about, this is a recent article. It says, let's talk about the so-called cancel culture. Dr. Seuss, Mr. Potato Head. I mean, they're changing Monopoly. They are literally changing Monopoly. I mean, are these people just, who? And somebody explained on TikTok, out of all places, this guy did a 60-second little video, and it was brilliant, talking about, and he called them mid-wits. They're cultural professors at these colleges, and where they lay, but it's like, it's a couple of these in high places, and they're basically suggesting to where they're in these critical points. It's almost like if this was a power grid, there's only like 9 or 10 people that are making this decision for everybody. It's insanity. Why are we changing everything? What I love, and I'm not going to put him on blast, but our kindergarten teacher didn't say anything about it, didn't make it political. The second that this Dr. Seuss stuff came up, he devoted the whole week to Dr. Seuss books. Not one parent said anything. No, there was no Karens like, oh, I'm doing Dr. Seuss. They just did Dr. Seuss all week, and they talked about the values and the things that they learned and reading. And by the way, my daughter is just turned 6 in kindergarten and is an amazing reader because of this teacher. She's reading at 6 like she's 10 or 11. She's sounding things out. If you don't remember how small 5 is, she just turned 6. Great teacher, and he sees the quality of this. Like, there are things that were in our childhood that need to be historically accurate and not changed. Do you agree, Dex?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, some of the stuff is just crazy. I mean, it takes
Who
away.
Who agrees with it? There's not one person in chat that agrees with this stuff.
Yeah, it just takes away the value, the nostalgia of some of these things. I mean, like, in the case of Monopoly, they're updating the cards, just to be more current, like, rescue a puppy versus, going to a beauty thing or something. And it's just like, I don't know. It just, some of this stuff, it's like they're really reaching in these areas, and others, they can find something, but they don't have to make such a big deal about it. Sure, you can clean up a couple things here and there, but you don't have to cancel the whole thing.
Well, what about what was the cheapest there's Boardwalk and Park Place, which is the most expensive. What was the cheapest property on? Do you remember? Chat, do you guys remember? Put in the cheapest property in Monopoly, or at least was. Who knows if they'll change it? What was the cheapest two? I think it was 2 property. It was not a 3 property.
Yeah, I got them if you need them.
Baltic, you got it? Baltic?
Old.
Go ahead.
It says Old Kent Road and Whitechapel Road are the cheapest of the spaces in Monopoly board.
Are they going to do it historically accurate? Baltic Road will be painted with like 5 different paint cans, whatever whatever paint they had left from, are they going to add Section 8 to Baltic Avenue? I'm super confused. Like, why do they need to change this stuff? Why don't we make it real? If we're going to change stuff, let's just make it real. Put drug houses on every corner. Drug houses and then a Starbucks across from it. And then in the rich neighborhood, put security and fences. And then say, oh, well, we live in a fenced neighborhood, but we don't want to build a wall around the country. Who would do our lawns? All right, Michelle Over, thank you. Huge support. Michelle Over just did $100 super chat. Michelle Over, thank you, and that is incredibly appreciated. It is not necessary. You don't ever have to do that. If that was a mistake by any means or added an accidental 0, again, that is very rare. Please let us know. Again, we don't want you outstretching yourself. And then Granny C, thank you, and thank you. Ho Operator says, no reason to erase history covering their tracks, ? That is a really good point. I don't understand it. Eric, the original copper-colored Aniwaz Maze, says, just supporting the Fugel fam, getting ericsplace.com together. Thank you, Eric, and I will check it out, ericsplace.com. It sounds exciting. 2 words, Adam, pole shifts. Pat W., I'm honestly on every boat right now. I have no idea which one's going to sail first. I have a wild tsunami dream. Donald T was in it. I saw it coming and calmly said, here it comes. Here comes the tsunami. And then it hit. Yeshua's disciple, those are the creepiest dreams where you're just totally calm and you know what's going on and you wake up and remember that. Granny C, thank you again. Diana P, thank you so much. Harley Quinn, Sweet Peach, Tent Dweller, everybody there. What do you think of cancel culture? Put down below what you think. And if you're watching the replay and you actually made it this far, thank you. I seriously appreciate you. Thank you guys for 140,000. Those are each people. And that is so amazing to me to think of 140,000 people and whatever they're doing right now that are out there subscribe to us. So that means a lot to us. They take anywhere from 400 to 600 people away from us every day. So we actually have to make more than 600 to break even. Isn't that crazy? Per day. So when I see smaller channels like, oh, I lost 30 people, trust me, it will happen for the rest of the time. Unless you have viral, there's really no growth. That's why it is rare that we got 2 channels above 100,000. It's not easy. And I see people that don't put the work in, just want to get bigger. And it's like, you have to do this all the time. And you have to know what you're doing. It's a lot of studying. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. Again, we will have calls all later this week, so tune in for the other shows. Again, the number is normally 224-400-MARF to call in, but we're not doing calls tonight. Thank you, Jacob Israel, for inviting people over in the chat. I really do appreciate that. If you have not checked out his video, it's not like, oh, just check him out because I talked to him. I'm saying check that last video out. I'll show you it right here. It was like...
I added it to the website.
Okay, perfect. And then, again, everything is available on the website. All of our affiliates, if you want to support us, PayPal and stuff like that for Brian Sussmuch, who asked that, that's over there. But even more importantly, all of the links, everything... actually, that's great. Thank you for... That just makes it easier than I have to go through YouTube. There's Veritas stuff over here. There's all sorts of mind-blowing stuff in the web-only content. All of the links there, if you wanted to... If we didn't read an article far enough, you can actually go read the rest on a second device. And then we have Jacob Israel is right.
Refresh.
Thank you. Boom. And
Right before web content.
okay, thank you. And then Dixie Doe, PMC 2020. Gone Girl 777. Thank you, and thank you for being the top 3 today. Dixie Doe, gonna make a quick song about you in the shoutro. And then Mary Davidson, I didn't forget. Was just a regular comment earlier. Said it was your birthday. I'm gonna make one for you too. Techno Gypsy, Jimmy Shively, thank you. And go over to this video. It's seriously really great. It is. That's so weird. Oh, here we go.
Hello, my friends. Jacob is here once again. Thank you for pressing play, for spending a little time with me. We're going to talk about some wonderful, interesting, and incredibly bizarre coincidences. We're a bunch of breadcrumbs.
By the way, I always check to see, even if I see subscribed, make sure to check this on mine and everybody else. Make sure to check if it's all notifications. See how it didn't have the little thing? That means it's not all notifications. If you have the little dingy bells, then it does all notifications. I never get Jacob's things. I manually have to search Jacob to get his stuff. So that's why it unclicked my all notifications. Do that with me, and then like if you found value in this. If you see the value in the work we put in today's show, it would be very humbly appreciated that you do that. Thank you for everyone who also financially supported us today. I cannot say enough thank yous for that. Thank the mods. They make this an amazing place for you guys to hang out. Again, those mods have gone through a lot of stuff down there. They have to deal with all the negativity, so I really do appreciate them. Stay positive, be safe, be prepared, and Marf out. It is now officially time for the shoutro. It's not an outro, it's not a shout out, it's a shoutro.
Woke up, bro. Woke up, bro.
That song is broke.
Life is a roller coaster, hitting like Sammy Sosa. Life is a roller coaster. JT Thomas and LG, Skyfall, Matties, Mommy, and it ain't no lie. Got the low lie, yes, no, and everybody go report. Happy birthday to Mary Davidson. I appreciate ya. I was walking, I was talking. Got the Granny C Michelle over on the right. Going on the left, Pat W say. Eric in the original copper. Color and your weight, yay. Hey, hey. I got the funky Pat W, Eric in the original. Diana P, everybody's sitting on. Everybody's gonna go be a sentinel. We a robot on a whole lot. I'm gonna learn a whole lot from the GoBots. 8, 10 Dweller in the Bones, Heidi 12, Jim B, JT, Thomas in the Mr. C. Thanks for your support, Michelle Over. Thank you for running, supporting the over. Got the Sean Clyde, Jody Cattle Dogs, everybody know. Everybody gotta use show as dice. I bow on the barefoot lasso operator. Wanna do it like old Granny, see you later. Hey, oh, no. Everybody got peace and love from Canada. Keith Dyke, this is K. Sean Clyde and Way. Out there is how I have to say, oh. Just on the go fight. Everybody knows that we have no time. The world preparing for the massive event. Everybody in the can't pay their rent. Moratorium is gonna end. When it does, it got the cent. Everybody go back into the cheaper states. It's gonna be, worth the wait. I hope it takes us a lot longer than this. Oh, I hope I going on the go high, on the phone, I hold nine. Got the heat on, got the heat on the putting on the Funzy Cam on the Tom Martin. A hidden hole can be bar in the sin. I got the geographically free, I'm in. On the Serenity Pi A on the whole now. Fun size cam on the Scooby-Doo, me mama. Bring it right back, KB, no drama. Shastina got the dude Dandina. I got no all, bring it to the second Trujina. On the high now, with the Mr. Alexa. Bring it back around like the Mr. R. Jackson. Hi, I got Jeff and I got everybody now right by the brainstem. Jones the sales skill, I got the chill pill, I got the red pill, but I ain't hills. I don't like hills, cause I walk still, and I do it everybody really wanna go rhyme. Got the soul woman and the sparky rum, Keith Dyke and the Wish and the Mr. Rhyme. Josh Perry on the security, do everybody on the blue beam. Agent number one on my phone, Lindsay on the big back catalog. Got the Scooby on the snacks with the Phil Billy X and the Job and Mazuki and Jubre Naduka, a Juby, a Gooby. I gotta bring a hoobie, I bring it right, seeking on the truth on the trudy. If you wanna keep it short, you wanna keep it blunt, I gotta have a bullets and the sheep on the sheep, on the safest sheep. You bring it on the Wilson, on the Green Bay lady, everybody gotta get it lately. The last few nights I've been watching the like volcano eruption in Ireland a row. And yeah, what a sight. I bring it right back, MJ Valley on the night.
I got the Wilson. One on D, Deborah Williams. One on D and the Deborah Williams.
I bring it a little bit lately, bring it back lately. Everybody in for dog. Everybody in for dog. Got the Tai Chi Z with the NZ, KMC and the MGG with the and the ORORTIB. Oh, with the mixtable freestyle mode. Lillian, no, Arredondo. Bob.com is the minna Bob Dobbs. Got the love. Got the love. Got the love, got the love. Thank you, Bob, 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 Mr. Bob, Bob, Mr. Bob, 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 Bobalina, Bob, 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 Bobina. Got the memory trigger. Got the Dixie dough. Dixie dough riding, Dixie dough running, Dixie dough riding, Dixie dough running, Dixie dough riding, Dixie dough running. Dixie dough riding, Dixie dough running, 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 Dixie dough riding, Dixie dough running. I just wanna go flow with the funk vibe, with the carry boot on deck. Got this on the wish, I gotta bring the chick. Oh, now look at all in the shit. I'm gonna bring geography. All gonna be Miss May is free. Ain't now got the ring back lady. Lisa and White and I'm so lady. I just wanna go on fly. I just wanna go where nobody got the kids out running gates.
was freestyling. You got an old school headphone back in the day, wondering why they on to say, hey. Everybody really wanna know. Oh snap, we got Trinity in the house. Trinity, hi ho, Kermit ho, the I messed that one up, didn't I? Seeking the truth, I deport it. Everybody, I'm gonna deport you. Oh wait, no, just kidding. We'll put you up in a hotel. Dixie dog, go we go. 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 I got the blunt, I got the Dixie go.
I got the Dixie down, I got the Dixie down, I got the Dixie down, I got the Dixie down. Dixie down, so digital. Dixie down, so digital. Dixie down, 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 digital.
Bring it back. I got on the foghorn, saving people on the ship who made it hilarious. I wonder how Cameron and Low is there. I'll bring it right back. I love Beagles and they stare. I'm rocking on the burn and they just don't care. Who wants to be underground with all of the magma movement? Shastina, magma movement? CNN says that's an imaginary movement. Magma movement? Magma. Magma. Make America good, maybe again. Magma. I got the magma, let's see, in my die, I took it out right on the China, with the ball right back on the China, oh, gonna find that Steve in the dial, bring it back now, big on China, Kelly Henson came with G, going right back with some killer energy, got the Green Bay lady. Got the Green Bay lady, hit me lately, oh, on the shady, bring it, don't fade me, no, I said no, I got the Gonga 777, oh, 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 got the Gonga 777, oh, oh, oh. PMC 2020, 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 2020, PMC 2020, PMC 2020. Got to bring it right back, cause I'm all back. I'ma bring it right back, on the old jack. Gotta leave on the David Copperfield. How am I gonna do this here? Everybody go now. Go ahead and buy your whoop job, like Mr. Big Bob Does. Rock you up the heli 101. Got everybody going on. PMC 2020, PMC 2020. PMC 2020, PMC, 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 that ain't the one. Everybody gotta pay attention. Everybody gotta pay attention. Everybody gotta pay attention. Everybody gotta pay attention. Gotta get it on the funk with the Jose Failure. Bring it right back on the safety and the nozzle. On fire on the wheels on the A. Green Bay lady on the what lately. Hey, gotta go Serena. Adamant, Nana. Gonna bring it, you know. Won't gotta get it on the jeans, no replay. Bring it on the bushes, bring it on the display. Mission May, Deb Carter, Jim. Wanna do it like, oh, how Ben Bill. Does she go back round in the run it skippy on the go on the dim. Oh. Happy birthday, Mary Davidson and Michelle Over. Here's one for you. No, not that one. You don't get that one, Mary.
get closer. Life on a roller coaster. Michelle over, I'm the boy on the poster. Gonna get closer. Life on a roller coaster. Get closer, life on a roller coaster. Geographically free, got the Green Bay lady and the veteran Steve. J&F on the chain handler. This is my Fugo and we got no handler. Kati Paina, bring it on China. I don't wanna take nobody knee. I see, I bring it on back Granny C. Roll with the Wilson H and I love B. Big legs, that is I see A. Bay glows, that's what I keep A. Cause I'm a white and I am ashamed. I'm supposed to be, right? I am a white and I am ashamed. I am a white and I am ashamed. I'm supposed to be. I am a white and I am ashamed. I am a white and I am ashamed.
Just kidding. Peace. Have a good night. Marfugal Productions, good night. And good day to you, and good morning if I don't see you tomorrow, but I actually will.